Welcome to today's episode of Success Stories. Success stories offer tremendous opportunity to learn from achievers. The decision they made and action they took to achieve their success can inform your creativity, strategy, and approaches and streamline your efforts. Today, we're looking at Gabriel Ogbechie. Gabriel Ogbechie is the managing director of Rain Oil Limited. And Rain Oil is a company playing in the downstream sector of Nigeria's oil and gas industry. This company has been in existence for about 26 years. Gabriel attended the University of Benin and graduated in 1987. He took a degree in engineering, did his youth service in Kano in 1987 to 1988. He worked briefly in Kano, then went to Lagos and joined a company called Pricewaterhouse. He was there till 1992, then joined another oil company called Ascon Oil Company Limited, where he works on a fixed salary of 30,000 naira a month. Wow, what an amount! Someone receiving 30,000 naira in 1992 wasn't cool cash, and could be comfortable. But a dreamer knows that no matter how much you receive as a salary, it is not any achievement. Your salary is simply the bribe they pay you to forget your dream. If you run your own business, you have your destiny in your own hands. Your income is entirely up to you. You know, my people say when you are in a paid employment, what an Igbo man calls money that is counted. Even if you earn 100 million naira per month, which is huge, the salary is still a finite sum. Gabriel knew this and refused to be enslaved by that much they were offering him to forget his dream. He was wiser. He asked himself one simple question. He said, Gabriel, what else can you do to make 30,000 naira a month? He asked himself that question as he believed that anything you can do to make your salary can take the place of your job. If you're working in an organization, let's say a bank, and they're paying you 200,000 naira a month, essentially what they are saying is, give us your time from 8 to 5 p.m. Perform these duties and we will give you 200,000 naira at the end of the month. So anything you can do to make that 200,000 naira can take the place of your work. So he asked himself, Gabriel, what else can you do to make 30,000 naira a month? And he said, if I could sell one truck of diesel, I will make 1 naira per liter, and a truck of diesel is 30,000 liters. If I am to sell a truck of diesel and make 1 naira per liter margin, I will make 30,000 naira, which was my salary. A truck of diesel then was selling for 300,000 naira. They were buying it for 9 naira per liter and selling it for 10 naira per liter, making a 1 naira per liter margin. So he said, if I could sell a truck of diesel, I will make 1 naira per liter, which was 30,000 naira. So Gabriel set out to raise 300,000 naira. But first thing first, he needed to incorporate a company. So in November 1994, he came up with the name Rain Oil Limited and incorporated it. He got his certificate of incorporation, put it in a drawer, and called that step 1. Success follows a procedure. You must count 1 before you count 2. Now remember that Mr. Gabriel had a hypothesis. The hypothesis was that if he could sell a truck of diesel in a month, he will make 30,000 naira. Gabriel knew the importance of setting specific goal. You can hardly achieve success without setting goal for yourself. And your goal must be specific, just like that of Mr. Gabriel. So Gabriel set out to raise 300,000 naira to purchase a truck of diesel. He didn't have the money. He wrote proposals, went to those he knew had the money. He was so sure that it was going to work. They were going to give him the money. But all he heard was, come here today, come here tomorrow. Stories. He met his first disappointment. Was he discouraged? If he did, Rainy Oil wouldn't be in existence today. He wasn't discouraged. From that disappointment, he learned his first lesson, which is people rarely give money to those who don't have. But a habit of Mr. Gabriel was his lifeline at such a moment. Please don't miss out on this. Mr. Gabriel was a saver. Gabriel's office was in Isolo, Ire Akari Estate Road, and he had a stockbroker who was on Bank Anthony Way in Ikeja. With as little as 2,000 naira in his pocket, he would drive from Isolo to Ikeja, meet his stockbroker and say, buy me 1,000 units of First Bank. Even if he has only 1,500 naira, he will still drive to Ikeja and tell him to buy him 800 units of Nigerian breweries. Savings and investment is a lifesaver you mustn't ignore. By 1996, Gabriel Ogbechie was getting frustrated because he couldn't raise the 300,000 naira. And so one evening, he brought out his capital market file and started itemizing all the stocks he bought one by one. As he itemized the stocks, it went into 2 pages. When he summed it up, he was surprised. It came to 497,000 naira. He was shocked. Those were the days of share certificates, not these days of CXCs. He gathered all the share certificates, took them back to the same stockbroker. He verified the ones he could verify, sold the one he could sell, and at the end of the day, he had his 300,000 naira. If you want to raise capital from personal savings. Now recall that he had a hypothesis that if he could sell a truck of diesel, he would have 30,000 naira. So he needed to go into the marketplace to test this hypothesis. Listen, specific goals without action will end up as a mere dream. So Gabriel went into action. He went to a company in Oba called First Aluminium. He had a classmate in the university who was working there. So this classmate introduced him to the purchasing manager, a man called Mr. Ojo. All Gabriel needed was for Mr. Ojo to give him a local purchase order, LPO, to supply them 30 liters of diesel at 10 naira per liter, making 30,000 naira. Mr. Ojo told Gabriel to come on this fateful Tuesday to pick his LPO. He was excited that his dream was about to be actualized. On that day, he got to First Aluminium very excited, hoping to get the LPO. But Mr. Ojo told him that it was not ready, as the general manager hasn't signed it. As a formidable goal-getter, he decided to see the GM himself. The GM has a secretary who used to sit by the right side of his door. He knew that if he made the mistake of telling the secretary that he wanted to see the GM, that would have been the end of it. So he approached the door and said, "Good afternoon, ma'am," to the secretary. Before she could raise her head to see who was greeting her, Gabriel has opened the door to the GM's office. After greeting him, he said, "My name is Gabriel Ogbechie. My LPO is on your table." "From which company?" the GM asked. "Rain Oil," replied Gabriel. "Which one is Rain Oil?" "We only buy from Mobile, Total and Unipetrol," the GM said. That wasn't what Gabriel was ready to hear, and he wasn't going to accept no for an answer. He did all the marketing he could do that day, yet the GM wasn't ready to sign the LPO, and Gabriel wasn't ready to go anywhere either. He was seated, Gabriel was standing. At some point, the GM got tired of Gabriel. He wanted to leave him in the office, so he got up. As he approached the door, Gabriel just used his body and blocked the door and said to him, "Help a young man who wants to grow. Sign this LPO." The GM looked at Gabriel long and hard, went back to his table, signed the LPO and said, "I don't want to see you ever in my office again." Gabriel said, "Thank you, sir." He has gotten what he wanted. He took the LPO and made the supply. By the time he made the supply, price had moved. So instead of making 30,000 naira, he made 45,000 naira. He was so excited. His second supply was to Limca on Bimbola Road, Bimbola Way in Isolo. They paid cash margin of 60,000 naira. It was working. The third supply was to one company called United Spinach on Apapa Oshodi Express Road, and he made margin of 25,000 naira. It was working. Meanwhile, he was still on his job. Warren Buffett said in one of his books, if you want to test how deep a river is, you don't go with your two legs. But by May 1997, it was clear that it was sustainable. So, he left his job to face the business squarely. From that singular seed of 300,000 naira in 1997, he had been able to grow the business to what it is today. Today, Rain Oil Limited owns about 40 petrol stations spread across this country. They own a fleet of more than 80 tank trucks which move petroleum products across the country. Today it is about Gabriel. Tomorrow it will be about you. Just keep dreaming big. Have specific goal. Put up a right action and don't be discouraged. You will eventually get there. Till I come your way next time, I remain your success doctor. Bye.